Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Reebok Studio Facebook Live series. And I'm your host, Krista Goon. Today is a very special episode also because today, 10/10, well, it's 10/10 as in 10 of October, is also our Reebok Studio anniversary. So I was just chatting with our special guest just now about how the journey has been as an entrepreneur. And that is why today is a very special day. And also, today is a day where we're going to talk about something that's really important, but also something that people don't really talk about. It's as if it never existed in the first place, but it does because a lot of things happen as we run a business. So today's episode is going to talk about what's your exit plan. Now, an exit plan doesn't sound as scary as as it's made out to be. So it's not something that's negative. It's not something that is totally like taboo that you can't talk about. But I also want to bring on our special guest today because I think it is also something that as entrepreneurs, we need to be aware. And we need to be aware of the fact that there is somehow or other an exit strategy. So today, like I mentioned, it is also a very special day for us in Reebok Studio because it is our 22nd anniversary, and we started the business in 1998. And I was telling my special guest that I joined in 2004, and that itself is a story in itself. But I wouldn't take up much more time. Let me bring on my guest. Hi, Ho Seng.
Hi, Krista. Good
Hi.
morning,
Good
everyone.
morning, everyone. To all of you who are watching us right now, uh, good morning. Happy Saturday. It's a Saturday after all. I
Yeah,
hope you're relaxing with your favorite cup of coffee or tea and watching this, or even listening. Like some people don't like to watch; you just want to listen. Okay. And for those of you who will be watching this on the replay later on, welcome also. And if you're here, please let us know where you're from, how you came across this. How should I say this show of ours, and where did you hear about it, and what actually prompted you to come in. So, of course, hearing from our guest itself will be an intriguing topic today. But before we start, uh, I always get my guests to bring their special books or their favorite books to introduce to us because I think that is something that we all need to have in our lives, the knowledge, right? So, Hoseng, show us your favorite book.
okay. Um, Today I'm going to share a book that I like it very much, um, and it's also very applicable to business owners. I believe most of us have heard about this blue ocean strategy, but I know that a lot of people use this term. I think it's overused, and when I read this book, I believe this strategy has been existed for a long time. It's
Mm,
just that people, this writer
yeah.
did some observation and study by analyzing, I think, a lot of companies in 30 different industries. Look at those companies that are successful as well as that have failed. And
Mm,
they find out a model. Basically,
mm,
they want to explain what is making this company so successful.
mm,
And it's across industry. So that means this kind of strategy has been existed long time ago. It's just that there is no term being coined for this particular strategy, but the writer actually come up with a term for this. They call it blue ocean strategy. And I love about this book is because it basically show you how can you innovate,
mm,
and at the same time how can you find your new market, not innovate in terms of technology. Sometimes people think that, oh, I must come out with totally new product that no one has invented before. No, we are not doing that, but they are coming out with a product that can cater for existing market, but no one is offering that kind of service or product yet.
okay.
Maybe I give you an example. I think airline industry now is not doing well, But one of the example that used by this book, and I can relate it very much, is because we also have the Air Asia, which is a low-cost airline. Conventionally, they usually use a very like mass, we call it national airline, like Singapore Airlines. All these airlines, basically, they give you a very full service. And I remember my first flight, commercial flight on economy, like 20 plus hours going overseas. That was my first flight. And the experience was very different. They give you full set of toothbrush, even the toothpaste, and the utensil was silverware. Not like what you are seeing in Air Asia is a plastic and all this. But back then, of course, your air ticket was very expensive. And not many people are able to afford it unless it's business travelers most of the time. But on the other end, we look at the bus. Those people who want to travel, let's say from Penang to KL to Singapore. If I cannot afford the flight, my only alternative is taking the bus, so-called like a express bus. But it takes long hours, and then very tiring because I have to sit inside the bus for long hours, cram. So, but it's very affordable. So what is the middle? The need, people still need a very fast transport. The mode of transport is like airplane, but we don't want to pay as much as the normal air ticket. And then the Air Asia model is actually serving this group of customer, which is the one that doesn't want to take bus, but at the same time, I don't want to pay the full fare ticket.
And no frills.
Does not exist.
and no frills.
Yes, no frills. Because a lot of benefits that I can get from a full fare airline, right? I don't need it. I don't want to pay for
it. Especially for short haul flights. I mean,
correct.
Like it's a 45-minute, 1 hour.
They only serve domestic flight because these are the flight that is in the sweet spot of like you can you have the existing customer who are taking the buses, but they don't want to fly full fare.
Yeah.
So you grab this group of customer from the bus, the express bus market. You take it, but you serve it with your own service, which no one was doing that. That is the blue ocean. You are not competing by, if I'm the bus operator, the only way I can grow is I have more buses, give better comfort, more comfortable seats, and then cheaper price. But that is going to hurt my profit margin. But if I shift my focus to I can charge higher than the bus ticket, but I don't offer a lot of things that my market doesn't really need, then suddenly I open up the whole market. So a lot of industry are doing that. If we notice, this can be applied to any industry. So this is the beauty of the strategy.
Okay, so I want to say hello to some people who are here with us today. Alexandra, hi, morning.
I see Manchi. Yes, hello.
Yes, and also
Alexandra.
Manchi, good morning.
Morning.
So wherever you're from, let us know and join us and leave a comment, okay? So since I always prompt my guests to bring on a book, I was telling Ho Seng I'm going to share my book, okay? And literally, this is my book, literally.
Your own book, right?
So, my own book. So why I wanted to share it is because, well, since today is our 22nd anniversary, I might as well share something from ourselves. So this is a book that I wrote with my husband in 2016 because we were getting a lot of questions about how do I get online? Not just how to get online, but how do I market myself online? And there are so many things that they can do online, but there are also so many misconceptions and myths. So what we tried to do was we tried to give people an idea of how they should get online and also how they should use their website, because we always believe that these days a lot of people want to do digital marketing, which I think is a great idea because marketing is always the lifeblood of any business. But if you do marketing haphazardly and you don't know where you're going, or there's no strategy, or they just simply just go out there just because someone says it's TikTok, you're getting on TikTok, but you have no idea what you're doing there, and you're just simply making some crazy videos, or you're just doing stuff that the crowd is doing, and you really don't understand it. So we thought that let's write a book so that people can understand how they can use that. A lot of things begins with the website, ends with the website, and so how do you use that as an online marketing ecosystem? So that's why we wrote the book. So I just want to bring it back up again because today, incidentally, it is our 22nd anniversary of the business. So I just wanted to say, give the book a shout out again. And okay,
Congratulations
and
on
the
that.
other thing is this part here. I actually pull up this part, which is a quote, comes from my dear friend Alexandra Wong. So she gave me a very good how should I say praise for the book. So I decided to put it on the book here. So yeah, so that's the book. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into today's topic, because I think today's topic is something that we really need to talk about. So before we start, I just want to briefly say that introduce you before we get started, is that you are a senior financial consultant at Ultimate Business Consultancy Sdn Bhd. And of course, for those of you joining us, Ho Seng is someone who's going to talk to us about the exit plan for business owners, okay, or people who own businesses. So anyway, a short intro is that before he joined the financial industry, I didn't know this, he had a decade of experience in R&D engineering with MNCs. And he's also a certified NLP practitioner and NLP coach by the American Board of NLP. And because he says sometimes poor financial health is due to poor spending behavior, which I agree. A change in poor spending behavior through coaching can create a substantial positive impact on a person's financial health. So let's get into today's topic. What's your exit strategy? So why is this topic important? Ho Seng, maybe you can briefly let us know why do we need that?
Okay, this topic is actually very similar to retirement topic. People always have the misconception, I only plan for retirement when I want to retire, right? And business exit, same thing. When I'm tired of this business, or I think that I want to stop working on this business because I want to sell off this business and then I can retire, then they only think about exit plan.
Yeah.
But a lot of time when we are doing that, we are making an assumption, a very positive assumption that we will be able to work on our business until we get to the point that we want to exit. That is an assumption. Just like a lot of people assume that, okay, I will start planning for retirement when I want to retire. But the problem with this is the assumption is good. It's very positive to have that assumption. In fact, we should assume that we can reach that stage and we can decide on our own on our own term how we want to exit when the time comes.
That is in case if it's like a linear, right? Life is linear, and nothing untoward happens, right?
Correct.
Like we're perfect life.
Like what we are having now, COVID-19. Last year, no one ever thought that we will be locked down. There was no such a threat that by going out you can get infected and you can just die of the disease. You can be healthy. You can be eating a very good diet and exercise a lot. Yes, you can live a long life, but you cannot beat the virus. So that unexpected event can basically derail our exit plan if we don't have any. In fact, I always remember this when we have someone told me this before. If you don't have a plan, right? It's actually a plan already. Your plan is default plan.
No plan.
No plan is a plan.
Yeah.
And the plan is actually there, but you're just not aware of it. But the outcome may not be what you want unless you look into what is the default plan if you don't do anything. Yeah. That is
And the reason why I also thought that this would be an interesting topic to talk about is that sometimes we may not start businesses on our own. It's not just like us, one person. So we started with other people. Those other people could be family members, right? Which is sometimes the default also. Or it could be with friends. So if we started with friends, of course, when it's like marriage, right? When you date and you get married, no one wants to talk about those things that may not go the way you want. No one wants to talk about those, those things that people say, oh no, like it wouldn't happen. But
Mm,
in business, it's a different thing because business is not like marriage at all, right? Because business is that you agree to come together to start something so that you can do something together to help your customers as well as to make a profit. But when something doesn't go the way it's supposed to go, that is where we need to also start planning from the beginning, how we want to uh, face that problem if that problem ever happened. So that is why I have Ho Seng here to tell us a little bit about that and why. So he was telling me that there were actually two things that he can talk about. One is that among family members, and one is that we start a business with friends and other business partners. So that is where I wanted him to talk about that. So I think, and this is this is why I think he froze, is that the internet connection wasn't so good. So that's the reason why I wanted to bring him on and talk about that, because a lot of times, like he says, is a default. We're talking about a default uh, uh, thing that if it works, it's great. But what if it doesn't? So what are the strategies that we can put in place? So in the meantime, while we're waiting for him to come back, I'm going to have some shout outs to friends who are here, people who are watching us. Hi, Malar. Oh, it's sunny. Yeah, great. After a few days of rain, it's actually a welcome thing. Oh, and thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hi, Gina. Nice of you to join us. I think yes, you also know Ho Seng, so we are among people who know each other here. And hi, Chulan. Let us know where you're from. So let's wait for a while he gets connected and comes back into the chat again, into our live stream now. And that's the thing, right? That's the thing about doing Facebook Lives is that weird stuff happens. Internet connection is bad. Internet connection is, not the way it is. And then things start getting weirder and weirder. So if you have a question, for instance, if you have a question and you're a bit thinking, okay, look, so maybe you have a something you want to ask Hossein, just put it in the comments and I'll pull it up for him to answer. More importantly, we want to know the strategies. So he was actually telling me that a lot of times people leave it until the inevitable happens. Or even for us, sometimes we're so busy running our businesses, we're so busy doing the day to day that we never really pay attention to this kind of topics, this kind of issues until it is too late. And I do remember, I do have, even recently, there was a friend whose spouse passed away. And the spouse was actually together with her in the business. So it was also something quite shocking. So I was just thinking at the back of my mind, if I hope they have a plan. I hope they had a plan. But if you don't have a plan, I think it's also a good time for you to actually start thinking about how you want to actually, think of one or at least discuss it. Because I know a lot of things in Asian society, it's pretty much taboo. It's pretty much something that you don't want to talk about because it is just too, how should I say, maybe it's too disturbing, or like some Chinese people just don't want to talk about stuff like that. And he's back.
I'm so sorry. Something wrong with my connection. I'm connecting to my mobile phone now.
Okay.
Somehow my Wi-Fi just got disconnected.
No
Okay,
worries.
we're back.
It happens. It happens. It's
Mm,
Facebook Live. It's live.
yeah, yeah.
So I was just telling that while you were gone for a while, while you're trying to connect back, I was saying that sometimes people don't want to talk about things because it's taboo. It just doesn't feel so right. So today we're going to share some strategies, right? How they can actually first start thinking about it, but at the same time start thinking about what they want or how they want to exit the business in a good way,
Yeah. In fact, it is if you imagine, if you don't feel comfortable to talk about this topic with your business partners, now, who is going to help you to discuss about this if we are not around anymore? We are
Yeah.
passing this topic, the challenge, to our beneficiaries.
Yeah.
And this is not the best solution. So if you were to think about what is the best thing for your business to happen if you are not around, is up to you. Because some people, they say, okay, if I'm not around, my children can run this business, my spouse can run this business. So your plan should be leaving behind this business to them. You're not going to sell away. But if my family member are not able to run this business, or they are not in
They
this
don't want to
business
run
at
their
all,
business. They don't want to run their
or
business.
they already
Sometimes I
have
just
their own career, they don't want to involve in this business, what is my best option is to sell my share to existing partner, so that I can liquidate my so-called my ownership of this company or this business, and leave the money behind to my family members. So exit strategy doesn't mean that you must sell your business. It can be giving your business to your uh, loved one, or you can even sell to your, let's say you are the sole owner, maybe you hire managers to run your business. The value of the business, especially most entrepreneurs who are so-called a small size SME, or even so-called solo entrepreneur, solopreneur, the value of this business is only as good as the owner is around. You agree? No one
yeah.
can really take over your business and can continue to make the profit that you were doing
Yeah.
if you are the only person that can run this business. But
And
if you have,
usually also in this business,
yes,
sorry, this solo
yeah,
business, is that the brand is that person, right? I mean, the
correct.
trust,
Most
the
likely.
brand, the goodwill is all with that person or that group of
Yes,
persons. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So if this is your business model, what is your exit strategy? You cannot sell to anyone, because no one would buy your business, because they cannot run the business. They are not the brand of your business. If your business, you and your business is the same brand, um, if I take over your business, I cannot use your name and then become pretend I'm you, because I'm not having your same personality. Like for example, now the Uncle Roger, very famous already.
Mm.
Suddenly,
Yeah.
he get like millions of fans on not Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah.
And when he started, it was started small. So now he is the brand.
Yeah.
Who is going to become
Continue.
him if he's
Become
not
him. Yeah. Yeah.
around? He
Yeah.
cannot. He
Yeah.
just cannot, because I'm not him. Same thing if you are running your own business and you are the brand and you are the goodwill, it's very challenging for you to sell to any other people. But how about if you have business partners and the brand is not you, it's your business, your company? It has a lot of value in it, and the goodwill value, of course. And then if your company has a lot of assets, it also has value in it. And more important thing is your clientele of your business. It will continue to bring in revenue and profit. So if today you want to sell this business together with your business partner, what would you do? You will find a buyer, right? Maybe it's a bigger company that in the same industry, then they want to buy off your business, because maybe my business partner and I already retire, plan to retire. I don't want to continue anymore, and he also doesn't want to continue. Then we can sell it. So we can agree on how much we are going to sell. If we cannot find a buyer that are who is willing to pay the amount that we are selling, then we don't sell. So this is
So this is a
when
conversation. This is a conversation, right?
this
This is a
this
conversation you
yes,
have with your business partner where you're thinking like,
yes,
okay,
because
let's talk about
this is
let's talk
when
about it.
we are around.
Yeah.
So this is an exit strategy, which is I call default strategy. I wait until I decide that okay, this is not a good I mean, I don't want to continue, but the business is still profitable. It
Yeah.
still had value in it,
Yeah.
and my competitor may be willing to buy over
Buying the business, right?
business and can sell it to a public listed company.
Yeah.
So this is a good exit strategy if we are
But this is
able
also
to
a
be
strategy to yeah, you can start talking about when business is good, right?
correct, correct. But the problem is, what
Hmm.
if I'm not around and it happened before this kind of conversation happened, or even worse, they never talk about it, and the business was doing very well, but suddenly I'm not around, I'm not in the picture.
Hmm.
So what is the default exit strategy if that
Hmm.
happened?
Hmm.
First of all, you do not know, and let's say if you are my business partner, you do not know who I put in my will to, I mean, the beneficiary of my business interest. What if I never have a will written before I pass away, and it will follow the laws, the Distribution Act,
Hmm.
and how many percent go to who, you never know, and I also don't know because it depends on the structure of my family. So you have an unknown here.
Hmm.
Suddenly, you have new business partner coming in. You may not be able to work with them. Your objective, your goal, and your vision for this business is to grow the business, continue to make it better. But my beneficiary has a different goal, and they are not aligned with yours anymore because they are not involved in this business. So what they want is making sure that this business can still generate income for them so that they
Hmm.
can rely on this income. Maybe they want to sell it to you so they can liquidate the business interest instead of holding the share. They want to get the cash and they want to sell to you. So, but this kind of conversation never happened be with your partner who passed away. Now, my family member are the one who deal with you. They don't know about this business. They don't know how to value this business. As a seller, what do you think the seller always asks for? The highest price, right? The
Hmm.
best price.
Hmm.
But as a buyer, usually we want to have the
Lowest.
most lowest one. So
Yeah.
there is a mismatch of expectation there.
Hmm.
How are you going to bring this expectation and get a good deal? I would say fair deal. I wouldn't say good deal because good deal, it depends on
Fair
who you
value lah. I would say fair
fair
value
value.
lah. Huh?
Yes. So we want a fair value.
Hmm.
And if when we are around and we are in good term and we are business partner, we cannot decide on fair value. Do you think our family member can have a fair value when we are not around? And people may think that, oh, this might be good for those who pass away, but those who are around is not benefiting. Maybe they think this way. But look at it this way. If you are the one who is the surviving partner and my family member become your new business partner, whenever you want to make a decision, do something, they oppose. They don't want to, because let's say you want to expand your business, you want to borrow more money from bank, and because I'm the bigger shareholder, my family member will own a bigger share, and they can stop you from doing that. Then there are a lot of things that you cannot do. And the other thing is, another issue is continuation of the business. Let's say if I'm a key person in this business, you are also one of the key person, but we have different roles in this company. So what if I have a very good relationship with our suppliers, and before that they were giving us credit
Good
terms,
credit.
maybe 3 months
Good
term.
credit. Yeah.
Yes, because it's based on the relationship. Business is all about relationship, and but if I'm not around, they don't trust the company can continue to survive or can continue to do well. So they may still supply you whatever you want, but they say, oh, no more term, cash on delivery. All of a sudden, your business, you have a lot of orders, but you don't
But you
have
cannot
cash,
fulfill.
no cash flow. You
Yeah.
can't take the business because they don't give you the term.
Yeah.
Same
And you can't
thing, you
fulfill
you go
orders.
to bank. Yes, you can't fulfill. It might be even worse. Is like your customer may sue you because you cannot produce whatever you have, the order that you have
Promise,
taken,
yeah.
because suddenly your supplier don't want to give you material unless you give them cash. So you can get into this trouble, and in fact, it happen. I heard a story about this Taiwanese manufacturer, a very big manufacturer. But when he passed away, suddenly he passed away. Um, they cannot deliver the product to their customer. But it was a happy story because the buyer, the customer, actually funded this company
Wow.
because they need the end product. If
Yeah.
my supplier is having this issue, the business succession problem, and because of that they cannot produce the product that I have ordered,
Mm.
it's going to impact my delivery to my customer.
Yeah.
So as a buyer, I need to fund them. But that
But this is
business
one
was
of those
lucky.
rare
Rare case,
occurrences, lah. Yeah.
yes, yes.
It's not that every time your customer will
The
jump in to
other
fund your
the other
business.
worst case is I can sue the company for
True.
compensation if I cannot deliver. So imagine if you're running a business, doing well, it's growing business, it's a business that is thriving, but because of one of the business partner passed away, you get into cash flow problem. You get into, I mean, being sued by your customer because you cannot deliver your products. All this coming, I mean, all this problem can happen because you didn't have any exit plan before. So having an exit plan is a risk management for your business. You need to have that, not because you want to sell your business if you're not around. Yes, this is benefiting the deceased partner, but the surviving partner also have a lot of interest to do a proper exit planning. You want to continue your business. Yeah. So there are
So,
two sides of it.
yeah. So
And
for
the
the
other thing is you
surviving
never
one, yeah.
know. Yeah, we never know we are the one who is surviving or we are the one who
Yeah.
is the deceased partner.
Especially in
So
these
it's fair.
uncertain times, right?
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
That's
So
why
okay, so if the
business.
person
Yeah.
yeah, so if the person is in that situation, so what would be the logical step to
Mhm.
start talking about it, to start bringing this topic up?
Okay. First, you have to address the elephant in this room. You
Mm,
cannot assume it's not there,
yeah.
and
We
awareness is
assume we all live
important.
forever, right?
You have to know.
Immortality.
Sometimes we know that this kind of thing can happen,
Yeah.
but we pretend we don't see it because we don't
Yeah.
feel comfortable to talk about it with our business
Yeah.
partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you look at it objectively, this
Mm,
is for the survival of this business and the continuation of the business. And after you spend so many years building this business and invest all your money in this business, would you want to make sure that if you are not around, you can take away your share of I mean, the value of this business
mm,
and give it back to your family? If you are not doing anything, yes, at the end of the day, your family can still sell the business interest to your business partner. But do you think they will get the best value, the highest price that fair for your family? Most likely not. Partly not because the business partner is cheating them, but because without exit plan, the business can be impacted. Just the example that I gave you, they cannot produce that many
products.
products anymore because of
Yeah.
uh, supplier doesn't want to give you the credit term. Then it impact the business, and then maybe your customers sue you, and then you have to give a lot of compensation. At the end of the day, your business asset value shrink, and it's not good for the family member as well. So it's a win-win solution. And of
Okay.
course,
Let's.
not all the businesses want to sell. Let's say
Yeah.
if sometimes my business partner may say that, oh, if I'm not doing this business, they want to exit also.
Mm,
That means if I'm not around,
mm.
my existing surviving partner will not want to continue this business.
So
They
it
might
means.
say because they know that, oh, they don't have the ability, or maybe they are the small shareholder, they want to exit. So even I'm the one who is diseased, I can still buy their share over, because I can give it to my family member who is running this business. Maybe I have children who is adult children who is running this business already. but the share is belonging to me under my name, and my business partner, when I'm not around, he knows that he have to work with my children. But if he knows that he cannot work with my children, he better get out of this business. He want to get a
Yeah. So
fair value of it,
it's also a way for him to say he needs to retire early
exit
lah.
for the business. Yeah, early
Retire,
retirement, or he can
early
take the
retirement.
money and invest in other things
Yeah, invest
and
in
don't have
another
to
business
bother
lah.
with this mess
Like
with
headache
my
lah.
family.
Basically, it's a headache lah. It's a headache
Get
that is
out of the
left
headache,
over.
but
Yeah,
with a value in it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So this is also a solution. It doesn't mean that you must buy when you are the surviving partner. So how to get this conversation started is
Going.
very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to know all this business partner. You have to think about the scenario. If I'm not around, would you want to take over my business, my share, and continue running this business? If they say okay, I want, because they know that they have the capability to hire someone to replace me, and then to continue to grow the business. And this, if your supplier or the bankers know that you have this exit plan in place, they have confidence in your business. They will not take away your credit. You can still continue to run the business. Especially if you have done this, you tell your supplier and the bankers upfront. Say, I have done this. You don't have to worry. If I'm not around, one of our partner not around, our business still continue. There will not be. There will be no interruption. With this kind of confidence, you don't have this cash flow issue. So yeah, you can communicate with your client. And another thing is, a lot of business owner they misunderstood key man insurance as a solution. It's not, because this involves two things. When we leave behind our business, there are two things that we need to pass down. One is the ownership. I own this company, let's say 51%. That is my ownership of this company. But what about the management side? Who is going to continue to manage this business? The management transition also need a plan. If I'm not around, who is going to take over my role? I need to plan ahead. Otherwise, I don't have SOP. The only person who know how to run this business is me. That is not a good business. That kind of business is very difficult to pass over to any. In fact, no buyer will want to buy your business if your business cannot be run by any other person except yourself, right?
Yeah.
So you have to think about that kind of aspect as well when you talk about business exit strategy. If you don't do a proper structure you don't have a structure in your business, and you don't have a SOP in your business, it's very unlikely that you can find a buyer. And the only person who can buy your business most likely is your business partner, because they know everything very well. And outsider is very difficult.
Very difficult.
And
Okay.
the other thing is, how are you going to tell outsider how much your business worth? Based on your account? Is your account accurate? But among the business partners, they know that, okay, my real value is this. And sometimes they want to give higher value, not the value that outsider is willing to pay, because they see this business got higher value than someone from outside want to buy from you.
There's the potential.
So you can maximize your valuation for your business. And it's fair because today I agree that both of us want to sell at this price. We happily agree on this. My family member later cannot come in and say, oh, I don't like this price, it should be higher. No, we have pre-agreed. So valuation of this business is one of the topic that we need to discuss when we are dealing with this exit planning. And then, of course, there is another issue that we need to resolve is, how are we going to fund this buy-sell? See? Yeah, potential buy-sell. Because business owner don't keep a lot of cash in the bank, getting ready for this event to happen, and then I can buy over my partner share and then transfer the shareholding to my name and continue running this business. No, we don't have that kind of cash. Even if I have, I would invest it on my own, maybe buy property. So there's no liquid asset for me to use. So you have to come out with the funding. Some people, they use sinking fund. They create sinking fund. The other type of funding is using their own life insurance, because that is much cheaper, more cost effective. So it depends. Some business owner, they cannot get life insurance because of the health issue. So they have to go for sinking fund. But that is the funding mechanism. So the other thing is, your individual business partner also need to have their own estate plan. Imagine if I leave behind my business to my children. In my buy-side agreement, I say that I want to buy over your share if you are not around. But or if I'm not around, I want to sell my share. So after the sales, right, the lump sum proceed will go to my family member. But I have to decide how I want to distribute it. So this is another level of planning. As a business owner, you plan on your business.
Thinking. Yeah.
We call it business will, maybe. Yeah, like a business will. How are you going to liquidate your business when you're not around? And then after you liquidate your business, another level is how am I going to distribute to my family members? Yeah, this is another layer. So for a business owners, you need to do two sets. One is your business side, how to liquidate your business, because most business owner, their assets are in their business. Honestly, they put in their money, buy more machines, expand their buildings, factory. At the end of the day, their total business asset is most likely the biggest chunk of their money, maybe beside EPF, depends. Yeah. So that is why it is important to have a business exit plan. Yeah. And it's a topic that people avoid talking about it, and because they don't see the problem yet. But when it happens,
they don't see the problem, I guess, because they don't see that things will go sideways.
True.
Because we always have, I mean, of course, we don't want to always be optimistic. I mean, don't say that we're not always optimistic. We are optimistic. But there are things in life that we need to plan for. So I think that is where this conversation needs to happen, so that we can plan.
Right.
So we have this what if scenarios in our head. So what if I decide to leave the business early? It even doesn't have to be death, right? I mean, just say the person decides, okay, I've had enough of it. I don't want to do it anymore. Okay, how can I leave without everyone, getting upset, right? I mean, there could be issues like that, right? When, like maybe 3 people start a business and then suddenly this one person decides.
Are you talking about those who are still in good term?
Yeah, probably good term, but they're also not good terms, right? There's those people who leave.
If it's not in good term, it's quite challenging, to be honest. And imagine if it's not in good term.
Yeah.
During our lifetime, we can't resolve this. We don't expect our family member can resolve that, right?
Yeah. So okay, so now I have and I think that itself, because there's so many aspects to this. Like, so we can talk about what if scenario. What if this person, the key business partner, dies? What if this person decides to leave, right? Or good term or no good term, so leave, like basically physically get out of business. Or what if, just something like you say, like, something that you never planned for, but that happens. So suddenly everyone is scrambling to find a solution. But if we had this conversation, uncomfortable as it may be, and maybe a lot of these things will bring up also other issues, right? Like the valuation of the business, how we see the business, how do we think about the business, and how do we want to tell our family members. Like, it also opens up the other part where if you tell your children, I'm going to leave the business to you, and then they start saying, but I don't want your business. I have my own plans for my life and my business and my career. So this also gives them an idea that right now you can start talking about it. Oh, why don't you want the business? Or what is it that you didn't like about it? So there's a lot of this kind of conversations that we can have if we are open about talking. And it doesn't necessarily have to end in fighting and, people feeling bad. It's just a conversation. So that's where I feel like we should have this conversation much earlier on, when we are all happy, when the business is doing really well, when the business is prospering. That's why purposely put in a title when the business is prospering. Don't do it when your business is like, down in the dumps, it's really bad and no one can agree on a single value.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in fact, the best time to do this kind of planning is when the business doing well in a growing stage, because all the partners will know that, okay, this business will get better and better, will be more and more valuable. So I want to make sure that I protect my interests.
Yeah.
And I don't want to leave it to my business partner to decide how much to pay my family
Yeah.
members if I'm not around.
Yeah.
And another thing is, this cannot be done by all the businesses, because if the business owners are not in good term, you cannot agree on the price already. There's nothing much we can do. It's a fair deal. If you cannot get a fair deal, how can you do a buy sell? There's
Yeah.
no agreement on how much we want to buy from each other. So you have to have a honest working relationship between among the business partners, and then decide what we are going to do with each other's shares when something bad happened to us. That is
Yeah.
the conversation. I think is good because it can enhance the relationship among the partners.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
And make it
something that
very, very transparent, right?
correct. If
Yeah.
they are all genuine working
Matured,
relationship, they are not like
matured people.
usually sometimes if a business owner have the bad intention, say, never mind, if you're not around, I'm going to
Take over.
buy the ship from your family member. With that kind of mindset intention,
Yeah.
it definitely you can't do buy sell with them because they don't intend to do that. But they forget they might be the one who is not around.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always have to look at both sides, and all the parties must agree. This is a
Yeah.
fair win-win solution, not like a win-lose solution.
Yeah. Okay. We
But
actually have a
without
question. We actually
yeah,
have a
sure.
question. I've been waiting to pull up this question. Okay,
Uh-huh.
this is from Malar. I have had business partnerships break up and friendships affected as a result. What should business owners consider at a startup stage in case it comes to parting ways? I think we kind of answered that in a way. Anything that should be written contract-wise, legal stuff. Good question, Malar, as always.
I have some clients who encounter this issue, and usually when business was started, no money has been made yet. The relationship was very good one. They work
Yeah.
together very well. But when it was like, let's say over the years, making a lot of money, good money, but somehow maybe when they started, they didn't discuss, or the contribution of certain business partner was small at the beginning, so their shareholding was not a lot. But over the years, maybe he contributed more and more, but shareholding still small, and to the small shareholder, they may not feel fair to them. But if you don't bring this out and get a right conversation, right, of course the small shareholder definitely will not be happy, and he or she might not be willing to work for this company anymore, and they want to get out and start his own business, especially if he feel like he's the main contributor. I guess this kind of situation is not related to exit planning, but it's more like when you start up, how much you want to give. I mean, each shareholder, each business partner, how much percentage you want to have. This is always a discussion between the business partner, and if you cannot agree on that, you won't be starting the business together. But a lot of businesses started when no money was made. They don't see the problem. They say, okay, never mind lah. You are a good friend. I give you, or I just take a little bit just for, maybe because you invited me into the business, and then. But over time, I think you need to make some adjustment. If you are a good entrepreneur, you know that you can grow the pie, although your percentage lesser. If he can help you to grow the pie, why not? Right. So it requires a lot of
Percentage?
wisdom to do that. Yes, it's not something that we can use a legal to bind it. Well, you want to have a good term, right? When you use legal paper to bind each other, it becomes very your working relationship is no longer based on trust anymore. Yeah. So
Okay,
it's a challenge. But
it's
when
a
you have
challenge.
this kind of businesses, usually exit strategy, exit planning is more challenging.
And because if you're bringing it up in the beginning, like you said, when there's no
Mm.
money involved, it's very easy for people to agree on percentages. Like you take 20%, I take 30%, you take 50%, whatever. But it is when the revenue starts coming in, that's when people
Mhm.
start thinking, wow, 20% of 1 million,
Mm.
10% of 1 million. It's like that kind of
Sometimes
thinking, right?
they can give director fee or bonus
Yeah,
dividend, right?
yeah.
All this compensation can be adjusted according to the individual contribution. Even a business owner is a small shareholder. If he contributed a lot, generate a lot of revenue, I can give you a lot of bonus
So it's not
just
necessarily
to,
just the percentages, lah, right?
yeah, not
Yeah.
necessarily must be the ownership, but you can give a different form of compensation in terms of bonus. I think that will help to avoid this kind of uh, argument in future. Yeah, it happened.
Yeah.
Some of my clients encounter this issue, and usually it would not be end up in good term. They will split, and yeah. And I have one client who being sued by his own business partner.
Wow. That's that's
Legal,
that's not the
uh,
that's not a good outcome.
correct. At the end of the day, who is going to make the money?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
lawyers.
Think about that. Think about it, right? Think about it. Who's gonna make the
So
money? But
so eventually how they resolve it,
mm,
they decided, okay, we don't want to hire a lawyer anymore. It's no point because we are both sides are paying lawyers and then go to court and wasting their time. They would rather
settle it.
settle it out of court and
Yeah.
then split their way and focus on their business. It's no point
Mm,
to fight in the court and waste their
mm,
resources and they cannot focus on their business.
okay. That is actually very, very good. So Malar says, thanks for the tips, percentage of ownership, bonus payout links to income generation, etc. Yes, I think that's also a good thing to know because we always think in very straightforward, lah, right? But there are other ways to getting around it and making sure everyone is happy. So we're
Yeah.
almost at the end of our session. We could go on and on forever talking about this. I wanted to pull up so many examples from you, but I know that because we only have 1 hour. So one of the
Mm.
things I thought of just now is that a lot of people say this is such a tough conversation to have. This is so difficult to talk about. It's like like you say, it's the elephant in the room, and it is also the
Yes.
elephant that no one wants to talk about. They pretend they don't see the elephant. La. The elephant is there, la,
Mm.
right? They just pretend that
Mm.
it doesn't exist. Therefore, we're happy with it. But one of the things that you could do is, I was just thinking out loud, is that you could actually share this um, Facebook Live, I'll replay, of
Mm.
course, with them and say, hey, is this something that we can talk about? I mean, it's not that not talking about it is a good thing, but this could be a catalyst for them to start thinking, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, what if scenarios?
Correct.
What if this happens? What if this happens? So
Yeah.
you could just share this, tag your friends, share this live stream with them as a replay later, and say, hey, there's this important topic I want to talk about. Maybe you're not comfortable bringing it out, then you want to kind of hint, right? Kind of like move them along on this part. So say, hey, there's something that I want you to watch, and let me know what you think about it. And maybe that could actually spark some conversations on, yeah, I never thought about it, or I really never thought about that because we're so busy running the business. That could be one way.
Correct.
Yeah. So
Sometimes
before, yeah,
having a third party also helpful.
yeah.
Yeah.
So third party like us, lah, right? Third party like
Yes.
us
Yes.
who are just talking about it as a general topic. So before we
Mhm.
end, I just want to ask you, what is that one key takeaway for those people who are watching us right now, who are listening to us right now? What do you think that they should leave with? If there's one single thing that you could tell everyone today on this Saturday morning.
Okay. Okay. You have an awkward silence.
Okay.
I see someone Mala said, I had hidden camera in some of her
Okay,
past
I'll pull it up.
deals. When money start
Yeah.
rolling in and the fight became about who did or does more. It's not because I have a camera in your mind, but this is a reality. when people come together to start a business, they always require each other. Otherwise, we won't become business partner, because you can complement my skill, or whatever I have, I don't have, I can rely on your skill. But when the business grow, sometimes it will get what I'm doing. Maybe I'm just at the back end. I focus on production. But you may think that, oh, you are in the sales, you bring in a lot of revenue. But you may forget that without me, there's no production, also you cannot sell. But people may see it differently, say, oh, I'm the one who generate revenue. That is how the misunderstanding can start. Of course, continuous communication. If you have something small, not happy, bring it out and talk about it. Don't wait until it become a volcano and explode one day. That's too late already. Yeah, that's my advice.
Okay, so that's really good advice, and I'm glad we talked about this. So I'm sure for those entrepreneurs who are watching right now, they are thinking, oh, now I have to go and do something. I have to start thinking about myself and especially if you have business partners. And this is actually important. But even if we don't have business partners, what is the next plan if you intend to just exit the business, sell the business, right? There must be a way for you to do it in a good way, lah. Yeah, in a good way, lah. So, where can people find you if they want to know more about you, or they want to? Can I say LinkedIn and Facebook?
Yes. LinkedIn, just type in my name, should be able to find my profile.
Yeah.
And Facebook, I have personal. I think just go for my business page, planning.my.
Okay.
Planning.my. Yeah. Then you'll be able to connect with me.
Okay. So if you have further questions you want to ask him, because I know our 1 hour we cannot cover everything. It's such a vast topic, but I just wanted it to be something that useful for business owners like us. All of us are in business, to think about something like this. When business is doing really well, because it's a hard topic to talk about when business is not doing well. So that's where I wanted to come in with this topic and this angle. If you really want to know more, find out more from Ho Seng, connect with him privately and ask your questions. And for those of you who want to find out more about what we do, because sometimes when we do this and people say, hey, what do you do? So you can go and find out more about us at redboxstudio.com and find out more about what we do. So that's one of those things that what we try to do is to bring more value to business owners and entrepreneurs and people who are starting businesses. We also want to have, sometimes I would say, try to be the ones to start the conversation and start talking about those really tough stuff. Because like I always say, right, business is tough. Business is not easy. There's a lot of so many things in business that we need to know. And when we first start, we do not know anything. And if I could turn back the clock, 22 years, probably these are some of the issues that I would also want to know about. Some of the issues I really want to explore and have a conversation about. And if you are not ready, like I said, share this video with your friends or the people you're in business with or people you intend to be in business with, so that you don't have to start a conversation, the uncomfortable conversation. So thank you to all of you who have been here with us for the past hour. Thank you, Manchi. Start thinking about the business exit plan. Yes, that is very, very true. People don't think about that, but it needs a lot of thinking and discussion. And Malar, thanks. Yes, thank you once more. Thank you for being here. And for those of you who are here but did not leave any comments, I hope you will do so. You can even leave it after this video has ended, this live stream has ended, because I also would like Ho Seng to go back in and maybe check out some of the comments, because when this live stream is happening, so many things are happening. So we're all like looking here, looking there. So maybe he will go in and answer some of your questions too. So thank you once more for being with us. Our next Facebook Live will be 2 weeks from now. So we have it every 2 weeks. And in the next 2 weeks, I'll have another guy coming on to talk about networking. So I'll catch all of you. And thank you so much for watching. Catch all of you. And thank you, Ho Seng, for being such an amazing guest. or giving us so much of information. I could have dug more from you, but I wouldn't. I couldn't. I wouldn't lah. But we will definitely, if this strikes a chord with most of our people who are watching, we'll definitely bring you back on again.
Sure.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone,
everyone.
for attending this session. And thank you,
Yeah.
Krista, for having me.
Thank you. And final one, there's one person here. Nelson Chua. Thanks, Ho Seng, for the morning booster. Oh, such such a good thing to hear. So thank you once more, everyone, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time. Bye.
Bye-bye.